Welcome to the Catboy Rants. Today, I would like to go over something that I enjoyed quite well, and it's been taking me quite a long time to actually get to a point that I could actually talk about it. And that is indeed the Guyver. Now, a lot of you are thinking, MacGyver? I said, no. The Guyver. The Guyver is actually, and I'll show you something real quick, a very good anime and a great manga. It's about a young boy, Sho Fukamachi, who, with his friend, stumbles upon the Guyver unit, which I don't have a picture of. But anyways, through it, he and his friend fight against Kronos, and that's basically it. Through the whole thing, they're just fighting against Kronos. Kronos Japan, that is. Because you see, Kronos is this really bad company. They are working on basically world domination through genetics. See, in the world of the Guyver, long ago, these aliens came to Earth, created all the creatures and everything that were on the planet Earth, and created humanity as a weapon. Now, you can take it either as a template for the weapon, or the weapon itself. You know, especially when you look at humans themselves, I mean, we're kind of, yes, we're dangerous creatures, but at the same time, when you go against a zoonoid versus a human, zoonoid's got the upper hand there. I mean, it's got enhanced strength, speed, durability. Fuck, they got the upper hand. So it's why I believe that basically humans were the template. Now, like I said, I really like the series. Everything that happens to shows how much he has to go through to actually continue on as a person. Not so much as just the Guyver unit itself, the thing that kills zoonoids, but a person himself. I mean, after realizing that humanity was created by aliens for the sole purpose of fighting wars, I mean, that kind of fucks you up, man. I mean, think about it. All humanity, we're trying to strive for peace when in fact our own creators were trying to make us fight. Yeah. So, imagine this. Young boy finds out there is a wonderful television show called The Guyver. Now, up to this point, the main thing that this young boy has been watching is anime on Sci-Fi Channel, and mostly manga entertainment, very rarely anything else. Voltron, Vampire Hunter D, Dominion Tank Police, and now finds out that there's a show called Guyver. Now, he never gets to watch the anime at that point because he lives in a very small town, but he knows there's a live-action movie, and we know that live-action movies are cool. So we go and we watch it. We actually, the first time we watch it is on Sci-Fi Channel, and this young boy gets so happy and so wonders what the hell's going on. Sho Fukamachi is replaced for his American equivalent of Sean Baker. Sean Baker is just this young man who is in love with this girl who falls onto the Guyver, kind of like how Sho Fukamachi does, and becomes the Guyver. Blah, 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 blah. Some things happen, kind of follow the series a little bit, and finally, you get, his realization that he is the Guyver. Now, the director of the Guyver, Steve Wang, later decided that he wanted to make a sequel. And so he directed it, he produced it, and he screenplayed playwrighted it. Even though, of course, he went unaccredited for it, he wrote it too. There was another guy to there too, but the thing is, though, you've got a guy who's trying to go ahead. I mean, he almost went the full-on room with us, okay, on this. I mean, he almost went ahead and produced, starred. I mean, if we could have had a Tommy Wiseau going on right now, but we didn't, thank God. In fact, I've been looking up the guy who actually played Sean Baker, the Guyver, and you know, I haven't really done a lot of research on him, but his voice sounds so familiar. Anyways, Guyver 2. Now, when you really look at it, really look at it, you think, wow. Just wow. Somebody had the rights to the costumes and said, let's frickin' use them. And that's what they did. The whole story is Sean Baker is now, it's now in the future. His girlfriend that he fell in love with has left him. She basically left him because once the Zonoids where he was at were gone, he became a really bad guy. I mean, think, you know, he shows up, bad guys are there, they're robbing the bank. Well, he goes in and he kills them all. Or drug dealers, he goes in there, he kills them all. He's going Punisher on these guys. But, yeah, he goes in and he just kills a bunch of people. Humans! Because this is what the suit is telling him to do. Go out and kill these people. And he wakes up in a cold sweat whenever this happens, and he's dreaming, and he's going, you know, what am I? What am I? Why? What am I? So, when he realizes on TV that there's these markings that kind of look like the Guyver unit and some of the aliens that and Zonoids, as well as, of course, there have been reports of a bear attack. You know, that might be some shit that you need to get in on. So he leaves his home in the city, and he goes to the woods. Yeah, let's go to the woods. So why did we go to the woods? Well, more than likely anything with this, why we didn't stay in a cityscape, or why we didn't have anything where, you know, other than, of course, the fact that we are doing an archaeological dig, is the fact that it saves on money. If you are outside, you are not in a studio, you don't have to pay for the fees for the studio, and you just have to pay for the ability to shoot in the area. And, yeah, a lot of this is outdoors, and you can really tell. And if you watch this movie, you will know what I mean. He goes into Hick Town, and I do mean Hick Town, because when he shows up, everybody's just kind of giving him this look like, you shouldn't be here, there's no reason for you to be here, why the hell are you here? And it's not until this young girl decides to take him to the camp because he's been drawing shit and asking about it that she does, that he actually gets there. If it wasn't for that, his whole journey, this whole Guyver 2 Dark Hero, would end up with him stuck at this gas station. That would suck more than this movie. So he gets to the camp. She shows him around because, of course, this is what you want to do. First time you meet, you know, a drifter, take him to the place you work, show him everything, especially when you don't know anything about this guy. I mean, hell, he could be just some guy that is going to go in there and start destroying shit. I mean, he could be an eco-terrorist. You guys are destroying Mother Earth, motherfucker! You guys need to go ahead and leave Mother Earth without any holes in her! Quit drilling holes in Mother Earth! Yeah, damn DP! How to get that joke in. Anyways, so they get there, shows them around. He's really excited. And that's basically it. He joins with the group. After he joins with the group, he goes out and starts talking to everybody. There's one guy that's very mysterious who kind of pulls him aside, just kind of grabs him and says, you got to tell me who you are. What's your deal in this? Now, I'm not going to give this away to you because you see this guy and how he acts. He's the government. He's the government guy. I'm sorry, I saw it for the first time as a little kid, and I'm looking at him going, that guy's with the government, or he's a cop, one way or the other. You can't have him as, oh my God, I think this might be the bad guy. No, he's not the bad guy. This guy is too worried about what's happening to be the bad guy. Who's the bad guy? Well, you get to figure that out real quick. It's the people running the frickin' dig. Why? Well, let's put it this way. A real archaeological site, they find something like this. Who's going to back this up? Let's see. A corporation known for backing people up for finding stuff like this when we don't really know what it is and it's a bunch of weird shit. And we think maybe aliens. I'd get in on that shit, wouldn't you? No, I wouldn't either. But this big old corporation did. And as they're going through, they find more stuff, more cave paintings. And it kind of rolls a little bit till there's a scene where one of the campers go out and starts some trouble with some local hunters. Yes, some of the campers are zoonoids. So those bear attacks were zoonoids. So guess who shows up? Sean goes out there and starts fighting the thing. The cop sees him go out there and fight the thing and asks him how he thought to fight the bear, because nobody knows it's a zoonoid. How did he think to fight the bear without a gun? So everybody else is still thinking, well, it's still a bear. They are able to get into, they blast open a certain area and they find a portion of the ship exposed. More little things keep going. Like I said, just little things keep going. It's basically, if you're watching Indiana Jones, but if they were showing the real archaeological dig stuff. Like sitting there going, yep, good. Yeah, catalog it. Yep, that's good too. Hey, look it! Look what I found! Catalog it, okay. Yeah. Until finally they do get inside. They get inside and it turns out it's a ship. And you're like, okay, finally, we're going to get to something. We're going to get onto this frickin' movie. It's going to actually get into the way it needs to go. And you get in there and Sean is, God damn, his voice sounds familiar. Anyways, he gets in there, stands before the magic eye. Yes, it's a magic eye. It looks like the Guyver's metallic eye. And gets in there, asks it questions, because, that's what I do to my computer. I ask it questions all the time to do shit for me. It's not like it's going to do anything, but nothing happens. Nothing happens shit. Until later, you find out that there's some more zoonoids there, and the girl, her father is one of the main scientists. He's a zoonoid. He gets in a fight with some other people because they're going to kill his daughter, and then the Guyver shows up, nearly kills the old man, kills a bunch of the other people. But you do get one cool scene out of this. Did I lie? I'm sorry. That is a cool scene. I think they broke the budget with that. Because everything else, if you watched Guyver 1, you saw every single costume they used in Guyver 2. There's no new thing. I mean, there is, okay, one new thing. Everything else, same. It's like, okay, we used the budget for these costumes. We're going to reuse them. They even reuse a costume in one of the scenes where it shows like the cavemen. It does a little backlash where it shows cavemen dancing and gyrating underneath the full moon, and all of a sudden they change into zoonoids, and one of them is the zoonoid that Mark Hamill changed into. That was supposed to be, and the thing is, though, that was not supposed to be the final form. That was supposed to be like, if once he got to the final form, he wouldn't look like that. He died in that form because he wasn't finished. But I digress. I didn't write the movie. So, after the fight, finds out that a lot of the people there are zoonoids. They get inside the ship again. They decide to blow it up. However, before they blow it up, he decides to go back inside again, let the girl finish up blowing shit up. He goes inside, realizes that, I don't think they really want to talk to me. I think they want to talk to the Guyver unit. So he changes into the Guyver. And then he gets a little thing saying, you probably already know this because, everybody else already told you this. Long ago, aliens came to Earth and we made people and fish and deer and zoonoids and the Guyver, because you know why? We made a bunch of crazy monsters, and those crazy monsters tried to kill us. Holy shit! That shit's crazy. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to make ourselves a bunch of guns in the name of Guyvers. We're going to stick them on those humans that we've been trying to, changing out. And at the same time, it shows a plot point for later. And if you haven't watched the animated series and you're like, oh my god, really? No. Anyways, it shows him a Guyver unit that attaches to a regular person, and boom, he's a Guyver. But they found a Guyver unit earlier that's got a crack in it. When he finally leaves, they fight, and of course it's one of those fights where it looks like they're pulling punches, really, it's like, oh, and you're sitting there going, well, why don't they use a gun? Well, one of the guys does use a gun, and it does jack shit. So I'm sitting there thinking, if the gun doesn't work, why doesn't the Guyver just use some of the other weapons? I mean, the shit that gets me is the Guyver in the animated series has lasers coming out of here. He has a vibro sword coming out of here. He has the Mega Buster here. He has a little eye in his belt that can actually create gravitational fields around him so he can fly, and so that he can shoot out gravitational fields and crush it. Yeah, and that's not counting all the shit he can do. But you know what the movie does? I got a flimsy sword. I can go like that and kind of hit you. And I got my fists. And this guy, I'll do that once a movie. Yeah. Oh, this shit? We're not even going to touch that shit. We don't have any money for that. So yeah. Anyways, you get into a fight. All the bad guys are killed except for one. And they're like, well, we got to stop you from getting the Guyver unit, the broken one. And one of the guys that shows up, the cop, he shows up and says, no, look, it's empty. Oh, that means the bad guys got it. No shit. No shit. Well, he becomes a Guyver. Which, again, this is another cool thing. This is another reason why I think a lot of this was done outside and had crappy effects, is because they blew the budget. See? That looks kind of cool. But he tells him, I mean, there's a bunch of, the fight for it is weird, because again, it's the pulling of punches. And I know this is stage fighting, but I've seen better stage fighting at a kid's play. Okay, and I'm talking little kids who wet their pants when they get the wrong freaking lines, man. And the thing that really goes into it is the fact that the Guyver unit that the bad guy is using is broken, so at certain intervals, he's running on his hands, twitching a bit, you know, like a tweaker. You know, it's kind of freaking weird that this is happening. And then finally, the Guyver goes up after battling him and rips out his eye, crushes it, and then uses the Buster to kill him. And then the ship leaves. The end. I'm not fucking kidding. You know what? I just realized where I remember that voice from. The guy who plays Sean Baker is also the same voice actor who did the voice of Lupin the Third from Castle of Cagliostro. That fucked my mind up. And you know, with a name like David Hayter, I gotta like him. So, I just wanted to say, I'm really sorry it took so long to really get back to you guys on this. But you gotta know that there's some movies that are tough to watch. And I'll let you guys know something. It took Sage and Nostalgia Critic, both of them, to watch the first one. I did the second one all by my frickin' self. Take that, man. Till next time. Which I think I will finally do something. Bought this long ago. And I got it because I'm an anime fan. I have the animated series on VHS, just like I have the Guyver movies on VHS and DVD. But there's a movie I've never watched before that I have in my series, and still shrink wrapped. Till next time.